What's good, gamers? It's your boy Legacy back in another video. In today's video, we're gonna snipe some gold 75s to 79s while I talk about my picks for the week. Going off, obviously, the Dolphins Bengals. Bengals won that game in a pretty surprising win, but also with Tua getting hurt, which sucks for the Dolphins, obviously, but still. Bengals, big win there for them, going 2-2, and the Dolphins 3-1, making the Philadelphia Eagles the only undefeated team left. Now, the reason I'm buying these 75 to 79 golds is for one, for the team diamonds, just in case they have low golds as part of that. And secondly, it is going to be for the playbook method, which I will be soon explaining in a very in-depth video, but I've explained it previously. So go check out some other of my coin making method videos, and I'm sure it'll be in one of those. But other than that, we're going to get right into my game picks, and again, we're just going to be sniping in the background so y'all can see some filters that I use to snipe these players. First, we got the Commanders versus the Cowboys. Going to be an interesting division matchup with the Cowboys beating the Giants last week. Obviously, I want them to lose, but I'm not confident in the Commanders. But, you know what, just for the sake of seeing the Cowboys lose, I got to go with the Commanders winning that game by 3. I'm going to go with a close game. Commanders win by 3. The second game is going to be the London game. The Saints versus the Vikings, and I'm gonna have to go with the Minnesota Vikings winning that game. Gonna have Andy Dalton at quarterback for the Saints, which is gonna be very interesting to see. Been a long time since I've seen him on the field, but we shall see how that goes. Next, we got Seattle versus the Lions. I'm gonna have Lions winning this game by a big margin, honestly. I think the Lions show people what they really are in that game. I think the Lions become a team to be afraid of after that game. So yeah, Lions over Seahawks. Next we got the Jets and the Steelers. This one, it could go either way. It's a flip-flop game, but I'm gonna have to go with the Jets. I'm going with the Jets in a very close game though. Do not count either of these teams out because both could be competitive in this matchup. Next we got the Bears and the Giants. You already know I gotta go with the Bears in this one. I want to see the Giants win. Giants losing back to back would be pretty embarrassing for them. 250 coins. I'm gonna pick him up not because he's gonna help me out for any set, but just because, well, technically I can do the exchange set. But anywho, 250 there. Had to take that. Sorry for the sidetracking of that. But next we got the Titans and the Colts. Colts upset the Chiefs last week, and honestly, I think the Chiefs can beat the Titans. Titans have not been good this year. They've been having a rough patch. I think they're 1-2 if I'm not mistaken. The only 0-3 team is going to be the Raiders, which again is kind of a shocker because they have a good team. But I gotta go with the Colts over the Titans right there. Next we got the Chargers and the Texans. Not sure what Herbert's situation's looking like, but I still think the Chargers probably win that game no matter who's at QB. So we're gonna go with the Chargers on that one. Next, we got the Browns versus the Falcons. I think you gotta go with the Falcons, right? I guess a close one. I think the Falcons just have that. I really like the Browns' run game. That's where it's at for me. Where like that's a tough question because it depends how good the Browns are in that game at running. But I think it goes back to the Falcons just getting lucky. I think they get that win. Next, we got the Jaguars versus the Eagles. Happy to see Dougie P back in Philly. Obviously, I'm not gonna boo him out of here. I really don't mind Doug Peterson that much, so I'm excited to see him back in Philly. But hopefully, he does not beat my team. I gotta go with the Eagles by a 10-point favorite right there. Next, we got the Bills and the Ravens. I'll be honest with you, Bills should be taking this game easy, but with their loss last week to the Dolphins, who knows? Dolphins are a good team though. Do not I'm not gonna pretend like the Dolphins are some bad team or anything like that. Like Dolphins got a squad on them. But the Bills do too. But the Bills I think would clear the Ravens unless Lamar just has an insane game. Next we got the Cardinals and the Panthers. Usually by the way, it's a lot easier to get these gold. Right now it's not working. For some reason it seems like a lot of them are locked up. But again, preparing for team diamonds stuff like that. Excuse me, I'm sure a lot of people, other people are, so I'm sure the market's going to be a little bit rough to get them right now. Luckily for me, I have over 200 gold players, so I'm not worried about it. I can literally sit for a week and not buy a single one, and I'd be completely fine. I already bought them long in advance. But anywho, next we have the Cardinals and the Panthers. I say Cardinals win that game. Kyler, he's a big question mark, but I still think he pulls through in that one. Next we have the Broncos and the Raiders in a division game. Again, the Raiders 0-3. They desperately need a win, but I just don't see them getting it. So I gotta go with. Uh, it's gonna be a tight one. I'll be honest with you. Like they're fighting for fourth place in the division at this point. That's basically what it is. Broncos and Raiders. Who's gonna be fourth in the division? And right now, I think the Broncos win. That's a tough one to call. That is probably the hardest matchup to call this week. I'll say that. That could easily be flip flop, mainly because it's a division game. Also, both teams have their strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, I think we have the Broncos winning that game just barely. Next, we have the Packers and the Patriots. Another questionable matchup that just is gonna go down to the wire. But Mac Jones, I think, is injured or out, so I'm gonna go with the Packers there. Next, we have the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers, health-wise, are not looking great, so I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs there. After getting upset last week by the Colts, they gotta come back in this week and show that they still are that team. So be and last, we got the Rams and the 49ers in a division matchup in the making. That's a tight one, too. A lot of good games this week. That's what I'm predicting. A lot of good games this week. Hmm. Rams, 49ers. I think Rams win, but the question is how much, how little, how close. I think it's going to be a close matchup, but I think the Rams got that one too. Another thing you can do with these goals, by the way, if anyone's watching, how I'm kind of struggling here to get them at a cheap rate. Just sometimes you gotta do the bids. Usually I avoid bidding, but sometimes you just gotta go. Nope, I did not mean to do that. Go by price. Go to play. Go by players. The 950 is definitely not the cheapest. I can tell you that much. But anywho, those are my picks for the week. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if y'all are new. Other than that, it's been your boy, that kid Z, and I am out of here. Peace.